Well, a couple weeks ago, the trailer for Venom: The Last Dance dropped, and although the trailer itself was exciting, the talk of the town was the introduction of the symbiote god, Knull. Now, at this point, there are a lot of rumors spreading around about who's going to play Knull and what his future is going to look like, and now we seem to have some indication of who is going to play the god of the symbiotes, and it's a name many of you might recognize. So let's dive in, talk about where these reports are coming from, and whether I believe them, and where it leads us into the MCU. That's right, not the Sonyverse. Well, when that trailer revealed that Venom: The Last Dance would include the villain Knull, instantly fans started speculating about who could pick up the role. The character is massively powerful in Marvel Comics, and although a recent addition to the mythology, one of Marvel's coolest characters ever. Now, for weeks there has been a persistent rumor that Walking Dead alumni Norman Reedus had been cast in the role and would bring the god of the symbiotes to life. Now, this has never been confirmed by anybody at Sony. And remember, Venom is a Sony project, so that's who we'd be looking to for an actual report. Now, earlier today, we got another report, and this particular report came from Hollywood insider Daniel Rickman. Now, as we always like to state, if it's not from the studio or somebody from the studio, and in this case that would be Sony and Tom Rothman, well, we want to take it with a grain of salt. But let's be fair to Dan, he doesn't hide behind anonymity, he stands by his reports, he admits when he's wrong, and he's got a pretty good track record. Now, since Rickman reported this, lots of other scoopers have seemed to confirm, and they're all saying the same thing. Knull will be played by none other than the king of motion capture himself, Andy Serkis. Now, if you remember right, Andy Serkis actually directed Let There Be Carnage, which is a pretty cool connection to this film since he's already part of the Venom franchise. Now, the report does go on to say some more interesting things because, and I quote, he's expected to reprise the role in future Sony Marvel projects, which means we could be seeing a lot more of Knull. Now, let's break down these two things. First, Serkis playing this part is absolutely awesome. Now, it hasn't been confirmed yet, so we don't want to put a ton of stock in it until we actually get that confirmation, but he is indeed the king of motion capture, and a character like Knull will definitely fall into that category, and getting the right actor, the guy that brought Gollum and Caesar to life, well, that absolutely would be awesome, and I don't think there could be anybody better for the role. Additionally, I'm curious what Andy Serkis does with the voice, because what he did with Gollum, well, with that, I can't wait to see what he does with Knull, and I think he could make the character absolutely menacing and give him depth inside that motion capture aspect. Now, the second part of the report is him reprising the role in future Sony Marvel projects, and this kind of dovetails right into the rumors we're hearing about Spider-Man 4. Now, again, not from Kevin Feige or Marvel Studios, so we're taking it with a huge grain of salt, but the general consensus from most of the scooposphere right now is that Spider-Man 4 is going to see Tom Hardy's Venom and Tom Holland's Peter Parker team up to take on the Knull character. This suggests that Knull will play a passing part in Venom The Last Dance and come to fruition as a major villain in the upcoming Spider-Man film. Now, we've heard the Spider-Man film could have multiverse elements and could even be set in Battleworld. But don't forget, Tom Hardy left behind a little piece of himself in Peter Parker's world that could be the connective tissue to bring him into Spider-Man's universe, and symbiotes exist within the multiverse and have an understanding and a connection to all the realities. So bringing Tom Hardy over into the 616 and have him team up with Peter Parker to face off with Knull is absolutely something that can happen. Now, Tom Hardy keeps saying this is his last Venom movie, and it very well might be the last Venom movie, but he didn't say it was the last time he would appear as the character. And him teaming up with Spider-Man has been something people have wanted from day one. We could actually get a small fight between the characters before they recognize the bigger threat, which is almost guaranteed, and this would indeed be another massively huge film for Sony, bringing together multiple characters and giving some more legitimacy to the films that they've produced outside of Marvel Studios. Venom: The Last Dance is right around the corner, so hopefully we get an answer to a lot of these questions very soon. I suspect after that movie we'll find out if he is joining Spider-Man. Heck, I would not be surprised if he is. There will be a cameo by Tom Holland at the end, setting up the connection, but until we get all these details, well, we're gonna have to wait and see.